Good evening, my pretties, and welcome to another episode of For the Vanity. First things first, I would like to apologize for the uber long absence. It was not my intent to get the ball rolling and then just halt. Winter is definitely not my self-starter season. It's just too damn cold, and then there's SAD. We'll definitely be talking a lot about that in the near future. So when I last left y'all, I was talking about the top 4 things I recommend people improve in order to function optimally and, look their best. Iron, protein, phytonutrients, and water. So today we'll be talking about the first one on my list, iron. I talk about iron a lot. This is probably going to end up being one of my longest videos because iron seems to be about 90% of the leading problems when I'm talking to women who have thinning or are losing their hair. And if we could get the iron in check, a lot of those issues do go away. Usually when I'm talking to women and I ask them when last they had their iron checked, I get one of 2 answers. Oh, I haven't checked it in a really long time. Or, oh, I just checked it and I'm low. Iron deficiency is common. It's so common, in fact, that a lot of people just shrug it off like it's a minor irritation. The issue is the many side effects of iron deficiency tend to make day-to-day life just a lot harder than it really needs to be. At the beginning of the Bible, when it starts with all the begats, Adam begat Seth, and Seth, I didn't make it past that, but you know what I mean, right? Well, consistently low iron will beget a slew of issues that you will not like. Iron deficiency can hit anybody, but it is very common among women of menstruating age, pregnant women, and vegetarians. So, what is iron? Iron builds our hemoglobin. You might have heard of it referred to as low blood, or people say your blood is low, or you have tired blood. Hemoglobin carries oxygen throughout our body, and without oxygen, your body just isn't functioning as it should. Long-term iron deficiency leads to anemia, which will cause major problems throughout your entire body. So, when you're like surfing online and you're on Facebook and everybody is like, posting those memes, it's like, oh, girl, they snatch your edges. Her edges are gone. Edges this, edges that. Lack of edges is brought to you by low iron. Not saying that, like really harsh styling like weaves or tight braids or like, too much weight in the hair won't cause your hair to be pulled out and your edges to be snatched. But the reason why those things could snatch your hair out so easily is because you already had a very weak foundation because of a lack of iron. I see it in my clients here all the time. You see things like premature greying. Yes, premature greying is due to a lack of iron. All the hair is just really, really brittle and unmanageable. The hairline becomes brittle and unruly and might start to disappear altogether. So, there's like none of the edge tamers on the market are able to lay down your hair on those edges when you are iron deficient, because everything is just wiry, unruly. It's just not going to work with you, and while it's not working, it's breaking, and then eventually you just rubbed your whole hairline out. Girl, they snatched your edges. The crown of the head is also a place where I tend to see a lot of thinning and breaking due to iron deficiency. A lot of the times when I start seeing it coming on and everything, I say, please go to the doctor, have your iron checked, come back and talk to me, let's get you eating some foods that are high in iron and everything. And I let them know, if we do this consistently, in a matter of 3 months, you start seeing a difference. Some people, if their iron isn't too horribly low, by the time I see them in a month's time, I do see a difference. You can see the new hairs coming up. You can feel a difference in the texture of the hair and how it's, functioning. You see a lot less fairy knots coming in. Fairy knots is when one hair by itself decides it's gonna knot by itself, and it causes a lot of snagging and pulling. And you could start seeing the hair coming back in once the person's iron store starts to raise back up. But I let people know usually it's about 3 months before you see a difference. So if you are somebody who wears a lot of weave, a lot of extensions, a lot of and add a lot of pressure on your hair, if you do not have a strong infrastructure, if the infrastructure of your hair is weak because of a lack of iron, you can expect to be losing a lot of hair. If you are losing your hair because of a lack of iron and heavy styles, you just want to make sure you don't get to the point where you start seeing a shine on the scalp. Once the scalp starts shining, there's a good chance that there is scar tissue there. You have damaged the follicles too much and the hair might not come back. So if you see your edges getting snatched, somebody made a meme about you, it's time to get your iron checked. Go to your doctor. So let's look at some of the symptoms of low iron and anemia and see if you need to go to your doctor and take a look at this. Are you always cold? Is your skin dry? Are your nails brittle? Do you have dark circles under the eyes? Are people always commenting that you look tired and everything because it's all dark and sunken in under here? Do you bruise easy? Pallor or unhealthy pale appearance. If you have dark skin and you can't tell if you're pale, try on ashy. Do you always look ashy? You might need to check your iron. Look under your eyes, pull down in here and look on the inside. If it's not pink, if it's looking white all the time, or else look at your gums or look inside here. If there's not enough blood flow going on there, it will look pale, look sickly. Do you have headaches all the time? Do you have weird cravings, like you always chewing on ice chips? Do you want to put chalk in your mouth or put a stone in your mouth and everything? These kind of weird cravings are indicative of having low iron. Those people who are always crunching on ice all the time. It might be your mom, your sister, your auntie. They always got ice in their mouth, just crunk, 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 crunk. Those are the people who need to have their iron checked. Fatigue. Are you so damn tired no matter how much sleep you get? Anxiety. Are you just feeling anxious and upset for no good reason whatsoever? Tired and wired. A combination of fatigue and anxiety, where you are tired but you can't sleep, and you feel antsy but you are too tired to do much of anything. You can't find that happy balance. Low iron can be a precursor to thyroid disease. So you want to nip that in the bud as soon as possible so you're not developing thyroid disease down the line. That is also something we'll be talking about down the line. Shortness of breath. That one flight of stairs has you huffing and puffing like you ran a marathon. Your libido just evaporated, your appetite becomes non-existent, so all of your appetites just go. Your menstrual cycle reminds you of the elevator scene in The Shining. It's very heavy, it goes a long time. You probably have low iron. If you don't have low iron but you have consistently heavy cycles, like you're filling up, a couple of pads throughout the day, that's considered a heavy cycle and you need to, keep your iron up. Brownouts or memory issues. The lack of iron will have you bazodi. If you can't remember your husband's name, you probably need to check your iron. If you turn around and you ask your mother, how do I spell it again? You need to check your iron. You're in the middle of making an important point to your boss and your brain just goes completely blank and you're standing there with your mouth agape. There is a good chance you need to check your iron. There's no oxygen going to your brain, and as a result, you're just having brain farts. And this is, when you're making jokes, I'm having a senior moment, and you're nowhere near your senior years yet. it's time to check your iron. You're having problems doing your work, you're having problems reading, your brain is just fuzzy and you're unable to think. Your brain is starved for oxygen and is just slogging through the day trying to, keep up the basic functions. So, higher thinking is just not a priority at the moment, and your brain will cut out on you at the most embarrassing times. If the lack of iron or the anemia is severe enough, you can actually black out. I've actually known a few people who were just going about their day and they just straight out just passed out. They just fainted. And as far as I know, nobody gets the opportunity to choose where they're going to pass out. So this could actually be very dangerous and life-threatening if it's not taken seriously and treated. So, a little aside, the weather's actually getting warmer now, and I hear a lot of people coming in talk about, oh, they have to get their summer body, they want to start working out, they have a wedding or a couple of weddings to go to, it's their own wedding, they want to look right in their Carabana costume, all kinds of things where people are also, they're motivated, they're going to go outside and they're going to get gung-ho about working out. If you have low iron or anemia, I need you to pause for the cause, because putting the stress on your body when you already do not have the stores in your blood, you do not have the oxygen in order to help you get through a workout, this can actually cause injury and a lot more health problems. So if you are going to go ahead and start a workout program and you have low iron or you are anemic, you need to talk to your doctor first. You need to find out what levels you are at and find out if it is safe for you to do it, so you are not doing more damage than good and you're not doing something irreparable to your body. Fixing low iron is an easy thing and it's not an easy thing. So everybody is different and everyone's iron requirements might differ based on lifestyle, age, what's going on in their life right now, what their body is going through. If you are prone to low iron, it's something that you need to stay on top of and make sure you're not slipping, because if you're prone to being anemic and everything, it's always easy to slide back into being anemic again. That's why most people, they started taking, some kind of iron supplement at some point, they stopped taking it, a year or two later, they're back on it. So something you're always going to have to pay attention to. If your iron is low, your doctor might prescribe an iron supplement to shore up your iron supplies, and here is one of the problems I have with it. This is why I say it's easy and it's hard to fix it. If you are taking your iron supplement and you're taking it consistently and you're eating well and everything, your iron stores will come back up. The issue is most iron supplements put a brick in your belly. Constipation is the main side effect of most of the iron supplements. And what usually happens when I'm talking to a lot of my clients, they start taking the iron. They take it for about a week. They don't poop for a week. They get really, really cranky. They stop taking the tablet, and then they're back at square one again, because now you're not taking anything to shore up your iron supplies. The thing is, if these low levels don't get treated or get worse, then now you're at a point where now you have to take the iron by injection or you have to get a blood transfusion. And I've actually known a few people who had to go through that as well. So while it's really, really common, it could be really, really dangerous. If your iron is not too low and your doctor says, hey, your iron is low and everything like that, maybe take a supplement, but they don't prescribe something to you, and you really, really do not want to take the pills. Ensuring that you are eating plenty of iron-rich foods daily in order to keep your stores up and help build you up, that is a thing that you can do to build your iron up. That is easy. It's easy in that you can continue to do it. The side effects will not cause like major constipation, therefore you won't stop doing it. It's getting you to have good dietary habits that are going to bring the iron up. So how do you bring your iron up naturally? You eat. You eat nutritious food high in iron. Now, all of my West Indian fam are going to be like, well then, I'm just going to go eat plenty of green banana. Newsflash, bubble burst time, green banana does not have any iron. I don't know where this rumor started. I don't know why we all believe this is the case, but this is not the case. What green banana does have is it has some really great non-digestible carbs that can act as fiber and help flush out your system. They're believed to have some probiotics in it that will help you absorb nutrients better. How green banana can help you with your iron absorption is, one, it's very high in vitamin C. And vitamin C paired with iron helps for better absorption. So the callaloo or bhaji or spinach or greens that you eat with your green banana, those have the iron. Your green banana will help you with the iron absorption. So what else builds iron other than not green banana? All your leafy greens. So your dark green, your Swiss chard, your beet greens, your spinach, some of your herbs like parsley and a few other things. Nowadays, kale is all the rage, and I would just like to say, as a Black woman living in Canada, kale, broccoli, cabbage, these might not be the best sources for you. When we talk about the thyroid issues and everything, we're going to be talking about the kinds of greens that can negatively affect your thyroid, kale being one of them. So in my list of dark greens that are going to help you build your iron, I like to leave kale off the list. So a lot of the other things, I'm not 100% sure about a lot of the Chinese greens, like everything named choy, how they affect the thyroid. It's something that I will definitely look into the future when we do the thyroid video. But right now, keep it to, your spinaches, Swiss chards, beet greens, arugula, all the different kinds of lettuces. There's a number of different kinds of spinaches. These are the things that are going to help you pack in the iron. Other foods that you can consider for your iron: split peas. Split peas has a huge amount of iron in it. Your lentils, raw cacao, which is cocoa, it just hasn't been roasted. Molasses. A lot of people actually, make molasses as though like they're making coffee. They drink that in the morning as a way to build up the iron stores. And my personal favorite when it comes to iron, because nothing has more iron pound per pound than parsley. I actually have a few recipes for some parsley smoothies that I will post to the blog so that you can try them and everything. The greens, they're nice, they're fresh, and they help build up the iron stores real fast. I find that when my iron starts spiraling the drain, if I'm doing 1 or 2 of these parsley smoothies in a day, I could feel my brain click back on in, about a week or 2. Of course, there's red meat. So for everybody out there who is not a vegetarian, red meat is definitely a great source of iron. And it's actually a kind of iron that is more bioavailable to the body. It's what they call heme iron. It's what they call heme. And so, like, I know, like, a lot of people will eat liver. Liver has a very high source of heme, and this will help build your blood up fast. So I personally can't do organ meats because I just think they're nasty. I do red meat sometimes, but for those who are going to be diehard vegetarians or they don't eat red meat, definitely going to recommend a lot of greens, a lot of split peas, a lot of lentils, things that are high in iron. When you are eating your iron-rich vegetarian foods especially, do pair it with a vitamin C to help the absorption, because it does not absorb as well as the heme iron. So getting your iron by way of food is going to make it easier for you to take. Also, you're less likely to overload an iron, which can also be detrimental. Let me pound this in. If you have all these symptoms that I listed and you believe that you are low in iron, do not go and start taking a supplement, because overdoing something in your body when your body actually does not need it, that is going to be a problem. Go to your doctor, have a ferritin test done, find out if you are low, find out what you need to be taking. Do not just go to the store or like pick up your old pills. It's like, oh well, I used to take these before, I'm going to take them again. Find out before you start taking any supplements. For those of you who are a vegetarian and you choose to remain vegetarian, to make sure that you get the right amount of iron in your diet, make sure that you carefully plan your intake. Plan it. Make sure you eat. Vegetarians are some of the crappiest eaters I know. They think just because they're not eating meat that that's all they need for health, and they are often missing a lot of key nutrients and everything they need just to function. My vegetarian clients, those who are not doing a good job, which is the majority of them, have very poor hair growth. When the next video, when we're talking about protein, vegetarians, I'll be talking to you again. So if you decide whether it's for religious, conscientious, or health reasons to become a vegetarian, I need you to go ahead and make sure that you are getting all the things you need. So once again, if you are experiencing symptoms of low iron or anemia, go to your doctor and ask them for a ferritin test to determine if you are low, how low, and what the course of action is going to be in the future in order for you to get your iron back up. Once again, do not self-diagnose. Do not go straight to your supplements, because I do not want to hear about anybody doing more damage because they decided they was going to just, do their own thing. There's some things when it comes to your body that you need to actually, get some information before you start treating. There are other things that will show up as low iron, even if some people have like exactly the amount of iron that they need, but there are some things that are causing them to, one, either not absorb the iron into the bodies the way they're supposed to. So, in the future, we're going to be looking at gut flora and other ways to see what's causing a lack of absorption. And conditions like thalassemia, which is a genetic disorder which has the body appearing as though it's anemic, when in fact it's just not working with the iron. So if you are showing symptoms of low iron, and your doctor says, no, the iron is fine, everything, you might want to look and see if you do have thalassemia, if you have thyroid disease, and if those things are not present, once again, we will be talking about your protein intake. So after you go and you talk to your doctor and you're on this iron intake plan in order to get that hairline back and get the center of your hair growing and remove the bags from under your eyes and become less ashy and keep your nails from snapping off all the time, one of the things that you're going to notice initially, like before you start noticing the difference in your hair and everything, is you notice your brain turn back on. All of a sudden it's like, oh, I could see clearer, I could smell things better, I could function as a human being, I could concentrate on my work better. That is when you know that the iron intake is working, and that, I think that is like probably one of the first signs that you see. If you see this, great news, keep going. You will also notice an increase in energy. If your energy is increasing but you were not ready to exercise before, as soon as you get energy, don't go all gung-ho and just start exercising, because you need to make sure that you are actually ready to do that before you go ahead. In my estimation, it usually takes about 3 months before things come up to where they're supposed to be, and you really start noticing a difference, energy wise, brain clarity wise, hair growth, hair texture. It doesn't, that wiriness goes away. You stop seeing fairy knots, nails start breaking. There's a lot of differences you start seeing once that iron is like, I had no idea I was feeling that bad. Just that you've been feeling so bad for so long, it became normal. So I think that about wraps it up. So I think it's pretty simple. If you like having hair, if you like your nails not to break, if you like skin that glows, and you just don't like zombie blood flowing through your veins, keep your iron up. Yeah, I think that's it. So thank you for watching. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to YouTube and all the other social medias. And see you in the next video. Thanks for